Hello, welcome to Marriage Series. Today I'll be talking about how couples can actually raise a child with one voice. Obviously, there are things that we don't really see as an issue in marriage, but apparently, as parents, we all have, our own ways of raising our children. Sometimes it might not be a perfect way, and sometimes it might be absolutely perfect. Depends on our perspective, and this totally depends on how we were raised as well. Now, the most important thing here is for couples to have a one voice, in such like in a way where they can actually, say the same thing, have an agreement where the children knows that whatever I heard from, from mom is the final from dad, or vice versa, or whatever I heard from dad is the final from mom as well. Now, like when you were dating, obviously, these are the things that you need to kind of talk about. How do when you have a child, whether one, two, three, four, five, six, how do you want to raise them? What are the core values that you actually want to embed into those children? A lot of times, couples don't even talk about it or talk about this, or potential couples during their courtship. Now, it's fine, even if you don't talk about it during the courtship, that's absolutely fine. But these are the ways in which you can actually raise a child in one accord. Just ensure that you have a proper discussion together as a couple. Understand how best you want to raise your child, in the way that you want to raise them. Sometimes you might want to, like, maybe you want to raise them in a particular culture, and your wife or your husband, vice versa, might come from a total different culture. Or you might actually want to raise them in a way where, obviously, like you just want to embed some values, some cultures in them that might not even be your own culture. You have to kind of have an agreement in terms of that. I'm not talking about agreement in papers, but again, we are looking at agreement in such a way that will help individual couples to kind of, or I mean, that will help individual in that marriage to kind of have that sense that, okay, we are raising the child or the children together, and we have a one voice. And also, there is another thing that you can do, which is absolutely you having, like a sort of talks with the kids. Understand the fact that whatever you hear from from mom, or whatever you hear from me, or whatever I hear from, vice versa, just understand that that is the final. You see, and this happens, like anywhere in marriage anyway, because again, children have, like ways of where they can manipulate things, and they say, okay, yeah, mommy said this when mommy didn't actually say anything. Daddy said this when daddy didn't actually say anything. Now, these are the things that we just need to kind of watch out for, because a lot of times this can cause troubles in your marriage, and you feel like it's just normal, maybe it's just minor things or something that would not even, maybe it's not a big deal or something like that. But again, it can actually be a big deal in your marriage. Please understand your children, understand how you want to raise them as a couple, discuss the values, the culture. What are the things that you want your children? How do you want your children to be? Because the children that we don't raise today, they become a total different thing in the society tomorrow. And obviously, like as parents, sometimes we feel like, okay, I've raised my children to the best of my ability. But I have, and then maybe when something happened in their school or something like that, you have other kids actually, embedding bad things into the lives of these children. You feel like I have raised my own children the way I want to raise them. So it is very important, and as parents, for us to take that accountability to raise children in one voice. One voice is really important. In fact, I can't stress this enough. It's really, really crucial for us to raise children in one voice. So do not actually give, do not say, okay, like, I mean, do not have different perspectives in terms of how to raise children in your marriage, because that's going to confuse the children, and that's going to create a division in your marriage. And I pray that may the Lord bless your marriage in the name of Jesus. Like I said, as couples, discuss things, understand what core values you want to put in them, understand the main thing, set boundaries as well. with these children. If you don't set boundaries, children can actually, they have a way of actually manipulating their way around it. So set boundaries and be firm with it. And then obviously you see how best the children are going to turn out with as well. God bless you, and then speak to you again next week. Bye.